Hey beauties, welcome back. Going out all night? No problem. Don't want cake face? Then you have come to the right place. Everything on my face I got out of my local Walmart. This is a full glam, super affordable makeup look. And if you want to see how I got this look, then just continue to keep on watching. So to start off, we're going to use the Hard Candy Hydrating Gripping Primer. I've already put that all over my face. We're going to go straight in with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. In my opinion, this is the best foundation in the whole Walmart. So just applying a little bit of that to the back of my hand. I'm going to dot that all over the face. This foundation lasts a long time. It doesn't budge or move around. And with that Hard Candy gripping primer underneath, it's even more budge proof. So there's my e.l.f. sponge, and we're just going to tap that all over the face. I wore this foundation, the same combo with the primer and this foundation all the time when I used to go out, and it lasts all night. So, and there's no cake face with this foundation. You can build it up if you want full coverage, since this is a glam look. I don't really have that much to cover. It's just personal preference what you like to do. But in my opinion, this foundation at the drugstore is the best foundation. And I did get everything out of this whole tutorial out of my local Walmart. Everything I use in here, I walked in my Walmart and purchased. Now just finishing pouncing that all over the skin. And you can see, covered up all the redness. Doesn't look cakey. Still looks like my skin. One more little pump, just because this is a glammed up look. I want to make sure everything's covered. So going back in on the cheeks for full coverage. Pouncing that in with the same sponge. And you guys, if you've not tried this foundation, it's super affordable and it's super good. Like, it's so good. You need this in your life if you have not tried it. And there you go, full coverage, covered up everything on my face. Just making sure everything's flawless. I always go in with the back of the sponge around my hairline just to make sure everything is flawless looking up there. And there's no like makeup in my hairline. And as you can see, no cake face. On either side, looks good. Gonna go in with the L'Oreal concealer. That is the second lightest shade. Gonna go ahead and prime my lids also with the same concealer. Go down the bridge of my nose, in between my brows, and my cupid's bow, because this is a more glammed up look. So we're going to highlight the center of the face, and never ever put any concealer on the outside of the eye right there. It makes it look cakey. When you have fine lines like I do, and you apply foundation, concealer, powder, it actually makes those fine lines more noticeable. Makes them look worse than they actually are. So I never put too much product out there. I always leave the concealer on the inside, and as you can see, that brightened up my eye. Same thing for the other eye. We're just highlighting the middle of the face. Want to go ahead and make sure everything's brightened up in the middle of the face. Well covered and highlighted. since this is a glammed up full coverage makeup look. Just making sure everything's flawless. And as you can see, everything's covered beautifully. That is the Maybelline Fit Me powder in Fair. Just going to set the face with that same sponge. I'm going to go right there where I usually get oily, is on the sides of my nose, and going to set that concealer that we put under the eye. And on top of the eye. Same thing with the other side. I always make sure that's the first place I put powder is on both sides of the nose because I have larger pores there. And this minimizes the pores and makes your skin look flawless. And in my opinion is the best loose powder in the drugstore. So super affordable. Just applying this to the whole face, setting the whole face with the same powder, no mixture, just that one powder. And as you can see, flawless with no cake face. And this will last on you all night through dancing, going out, partying, whatever you're doing. And I did just show that coconut Wet n Wild spray because in the beginning I prepped my face with that. I sprayed my face before I put on that grip primer, but I forgot to show that. And we're going to go in with this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And make sure that you want to put this in the hollows of your cheeks, but more up. Going in with this Milani Silk Matte Bronzer. The same thing. Just putting it in the hollows of the cheeks, give our face some dimension. Since we put that foundation on, everything's just flat. So, giving our face back some color and some lift. Putting that on the tops of my forehead. And then around my jawline, just to give me back some color, some life to my face. And going in with the Profusion Blush 3 palette. $4.99 at Walmart. And we're just going to mix all of these shades and let them create their own little pretty color. I am such a mixer person. I mix everything. Foundations, powder, blush, mascara. I mix a lot of stuff. So don't be afraid to try to mix stuff. If you have two products that you really love and you think will go together, try it out. It's just makeup. Gonna go in with that Maybelline highlighter that's in the shade 050. It's the rose gold one. And that Milani brush I also got from Walmart. This is my favorite highlighting brush of life. It's like $8 at Walmart. $7.98 or $8.98, I'm not sure, but it's the best highlighting brush I've ever used. Even highlighting brushes that are $23, $25. Not better than this brush in my opinion. And I do have a backup brush, so that should say something about this Milani highlighting brush. It is so good. Just going down the bridge of my nose, we're going to apply this highlighter to all the high points of the face. The cheekbones, the temples, the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow. And since this is a glammed up look, we're going back in with the Milani Silk Bronzer and we're going to contour the nose. Normally, I don't contour the nose because just no need to. When I put the highlighter on my nose, it kind of gives it a contour effect. But for the sake of going out all night, and if you're in certain night lights or club lights, it does look better if your nose is contoured. And we're going to go in with the Profusion Mirage palette. $12.99. Pick this up in store at Walmart. That first light shade. Just going to apply this all over the eyelid. Same thing with the other eye, and that's just on a fluffy blending brush. Gonna go ahead with this peachy shade right here. Gonna put this in the crease. Just back and forth. Want to make sure it's well blended. And these eyeshadow palettes are so good. There's hardly any kickback, if none. And you get all those colors for $12. And these Profusion palettes are better than high-end palettes. I have high-end palettes I don't even reach for. I reach for this Profusion palette. I'm going to go in with that mauve pink shade. And that's on a little more dense brush. And just packing that on the outer corner of the V. Trying to really focus on building that outer V up. Same thing with the other eye. And you want to build shadows up little by little. You don't just want to go in like bam, big bright shade. You always want a transition shade and then to start building on. And then we're going to use these two outer colors here. And really pack that on the corner. Really trying to build that color up. And these Profusion palettes you can use for summer, fall, spring. There's so many different colors and tones in there. There's cooler tones, warmer tones, fall tones, summer tones. You can do anything with these eyeshadows. Like, you can create almost any look with these. And I think that's why I really don't reach for my high-end palettes. They don't have as many colors. And the formula on this is just so good. So there's no reason. We're going to go in with that darkest brown shade. And that is a more warm tone shade we're putting in the crease. And again, just focusing on that outer V. Really trying to leave the center open because we're going to put some glitter there. This is a going out, glammed up look, so we do want some glitter on the eyes just for when those certain lights catch your eye, they really pop. So just putting that warm brown shade on the other eye, blending that in. Gonna go back in with those two mauve darker shades and run that under the eye just to match the top. And I don't pull my shadow on the lash line down too far, but you do want to match the top eyeshadow what you did. So you don't want to have all that color on the top and nothing on the bottom. Just kind of pulling that in, going back in with that same peach shade that we put in the crease and blending out those rough edges. Same thing with the other eye, just making sure everything's well blended. This is a glammed up look, so we're trying to look flawless. Going in with a bigger brush and that first shade that we put all over the lid and just putting that on the brow bone. Just to lighten things up, make sure everything's in place. That is the e.l.f. glitter eyeshadow. And that's what we're applying to the center of the lid. That's going to catch any light at night. Make your eyes look open. Very pretty and very suitable for a glammed up look. And again, this was $5 at my local Walmart. Same thing with the other eye, just applying that. We're going to let that dry for just a second. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very glittery. Very beautiful. I'm going back in with a second coat just because this is a night look. So we're really trying to amp this glitter up. Same thing with the other eye. I just flipped the wand over. There's just as much product on one side as the other, so no need to redip. Just applying that all over the middle of the eye. Brushing through the brows. I really don't have sparse brows, so I don't really ever do too much to them. Sometimes just brush through them and set them. And next we're going to go in with that's a flat shader brush, but we're not doing that quite yet. Just showing the brush, but we're going to go in with that glitter color and use my finger as always. It's the best tool for glitter. And we're just setting the elf glitter that we put on our eye, just to really amp this eye look up. So just setting that, and as you can see, it's really glowing. We're going to go back in with that flat shader brush and this dark brown color from the palette, and just put this closest to our lash line as possible, almost like a winged liner, but with eyeshadow instead of the liquid liner. I'm just really packing that on closest to my lashes as possible. You just want to make a thin line. When you have everything covered at your lash line, when you put mascara on, it makes your lashes look thicker than what they actually are. So when your base looks thick, then your eyelashes are going to look thick. And I didn't want to use black just because it's a little harsh, and this dark brown went with this color. I already went with the colors on the eyes, so just dip back into that warm brown shade and doing the same thing on the other eye and just giving a little wing. And that's the good thing about using shadows too. This does not have to be perfect. It's not a liquid liner, so it's more soft looking. Going back in with this gold shade, just going to highlight the inners of the eyes. Open the eyes up a little bit. And that's just on that same flat shader brush. I just flipped it over and used the other side. This is the L'Oreal Paris Lash Paradise mascara. Once again, the best mascara in the drugstore, in my opinion. It gives the thickest, fullest lashes possible, and it's affordable. My eyelashes looked like falsies when I was done. If you have not tried this mascara, you're missing out. There is also other good ones at the drugstore, but if you want the very best, this one here is it. A lot of them do make your lashes look long and thick, but this mascara here will make them look like falsies. And also, this mascara does not flake or smudge. And they also have a waterproof one. This is just the washable one. But if you prefer waterproof, it does come in that. Also, same thing with the lower lash line. Just hitting those lashes with that same mascara. And always, as you can see, big difference. Gonna go in with the NYX lip liner, and that's in the shade Violet Smoke. Go ahead and line the lips, and always I just barely outline outside of my lip, like just on the edge, not too much. If you prefer just to line your natural lips, you can, but I always outline just over my lip. And gonna go in with these Maybelline Tattoo Liquid Lip. And that's from the Coffee collection, and it smells so good. That's actually, this one here I think smells like tea. It's not coffee, but it does smell good. And this is very cool toned brown, so I had to mix it with another one. And just patting that in. That's the lighter shade. Same thing, Maybelline Tattoo. And just mixing that so it's not so dark looking. We're kind of matching the eyes here. And once you put this on your lips and they dry for about 2 minutes, this is going to stay on all night through eating, drinking, talking. Going in with the setting spray. That's the Milani Fruit Fetish. Dragon Fruit Peach. And just soaking my face with that. Making sure everything is in place and not going to move around for the entire night. Also got this at my local Walmart. They have different ones. Watermelon, coconut, and this is the peach one that I used, which is my favorite. Going in with that same sponge we used from earlier and just making sure that all that setting spray is set down and flawless. I'm going to go back in with some highlighter because this, once again, is a going out look. After you spray, little trick is after you spray your setting spray and you go back in with highlighter, it really glides over the skin. It's almost like a glue for that highlighter. Like, it makes it pop so much more than just putting it on your skin. So if I'm really trying to amp up a look, I will go ahead with my finishing setting spray and then go back in with that highlighter because, as you can see, it's really amped up. Going in with a little bit of Maybelline Lifter Gloss, which also I picked up at my local Walmart. And this has hyaluronic acid in it. And it does plump your lips, but no stinging at all. It just hydrates them, so naturally plumps them. It's no harsh stinging or plumping like that. But with those tattoo liquid lips that we used is a little bit drying, so I always have to put a gloss on top. And there you have it. No cake face. Going out all night. And see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.